Welcome to Random Reviews, where you don't know what movies I'm reviewing. I know, but you don't, and now you're fixing to find out. You clicked on this video, thank you so much. And the movies I'm going to review today are The Fox and the Hound, The Goofy Movie, and Free Guy. And they're reviewed in that order. So if you don't want to watch these reviews for these movies, then just fucking leave. But if you're interested in those, stay tuned and finish the rest of the video. Thanks for checking this out. Here's the second clip, Jamin. Hey there, what's going on, everybody? Today, I'm going to talk about some movies with you. I'm Jamin. Welcome to my channel. This is called What I Watched This Week. And this is also called Killing Time because I have stuff to do today, but it doesn't happen until a certain point. And I didn't put out a video earlier this week when I was supposed to. Like Monday, this is supposed to come out, and it's Wednesday, my dudes. So I'm late. But regardless, here you go. Here's something. You know, we're going to talk about the Goofy Movie. We're going to talk about The Fox and the Hound, and we're going to talk about Free Guy. All old movies, and it's a very weird, odd collection of movies, but I didn't get around to seeing Uncharted, which is what I intended to do and what my review was supposed to be this week, but it came out in theaters, and it's hard for me to go to the theaters, and I'm so used to having movies come out on HBO Max and Netflix and all that, where I don't have to go to the theater. So yeah, and this is what happens, you know, you grow older, you work a job, you have a life, and you're trying to do YouTube, and it gets complicated. So, yeah, let's talk about this stuff for a little bit, just to kill some time, guys, and kill some time with me, please. I hope you enjoy this. There's gonna be brief talks, and it's gonna be like scattered reviews, basically, of these. I guess let's start off with what I watched first, which was actually The Fox and the Hound. Because I think I had suggested it. I still hadn't seen it. This was my first time ever seeing it. Of course, I know what it's about and like the sad parts, but still watching the whole thing through was a good experience. It's funny to me how Todd the Fox, how his like character kind of grew, and how I ended up kind of like not liking him. There's this part where he spoilers for a 80-year-old movie, by the way. There's this part where he falls in the water after he's trying to catch a fish, and they like berate him basically with laughter, and they call him a beta cuck male who can't fish or whatever. And he snaps and he calls the girl, I don't know what her name is, Trixie. We'll call her Trixie. He calls her a mindless female. And wowee. Sexism, am I right, guys? But I was like, damn, bruh, you didn't have to go that hard on her. Like, you got embarrassed, so what? Take it like a man. But, and then Megan was defending this behavior, by the way, my fiance. She said, but he just got left, and he has no friends or family, and now they're making fun of him and laughing at him. And I'm like, okay. I mean, sure, okay, he's whatever. I just thought it was funny, and I thought it was like pretty harsh. Didn't expect him to like go off like that. But then they make up, and then they're romantic again, and that was the thing that stuck out the most to me about the movie. Outside of the fact where she does leave him, and it's very sad, and I cried a little bit, because it's a great little moment. There's like this poem that the grandma says. It's basically a poem, but it's also like a little monologue that she gives, and it's like the sweetest thing, and it's very well written and touching, and I would just love to read that transcript, and it's going to be like a little tweet I'm going to do at some point, because it's so pretty, and it's really good. I like that. The movie itself, the animation still looks really good. I love the old school Disney style. It's very, like, technical. There's a better word for it. Like, I want to say, like, perfect, but it's not. It's like everything is drawn like it's meant to be there, and it feels like a living world, and it's really good. It's really cool. So that style holds up a lot. And I was watching it, I was like, this is a really pretty looking, you know, movie, and it's so old that you think of what they can do today with computers and stuff, and back then it was more of like a hand-drawn cell. I think that's what they call it, like cell animation. That's what I was looking for. And it looks really good, and I was surprised. We watched it on Disney Plus, so I'm sure it's been restored, and, you know, it's been freaking put through the ringer of, like, having it upped in quality throughout the years. So this is probably the best definitive version that you can watch. It's really good. It's a really solid film. I know I've said it's really good a bunch of times, but it is. You should check it out if you haven't. I like the what's the hound dog's name? Copper. Um, he's so cute when he's a little baby Copper. I want him so bad, but when he grows up, he's like, you're a little ugly now. Sorry, but get out of here, you ugly. Sorry. But anyways, is there anything else to say? Not really. It's just a solid film. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'd probably give it a 7. 7 out of 10. Yeah. I don't know what else you want from me. So get out of here. So now let's talk about the Goofy movie. We were just on Disney Plus, and I've been hearing the Goofy movie song, the Eye to Eye song, on TikTok a lot. And what's occurred to me in hearing this song and seeing people dance to it and react to it is, what's really struck me is that this, like, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna come right out and say it. Goofy is black, right? Goofy and Max and them, they're like black. Are they ethnic? Or it just feels like the culture for this movie and everything kind of pushes it towards them being some kind of ethnicity, you know, like the power line, and a lot of the people that do the cosplay and do the singing and stuff for Powerline, they're all African American people. And I think that's so great, and it's so cool and interesting that I mean, you can kind of, I mean, what do you guys think? Like, tell me, like, honestly, do you feel like they are, like, does it feel like that's the culture of the Goofs, I guess, is that they are, like, that's kind of the vibe I get from the movie. And it's it's really fun, and it's a really interesting story. And it's really, it has its ups and downs. Like, sometimes it's like a little boring, but other times I really enjoyed like the sweet moments with the father and son angle, because, you know, it tugs on my heartstrings of like you missing your dad, or like having, like, this is legitimately what would happen with me and my dad. Like, if we were just us two and we were going on this big road trip and it's out in the country and my dad had those specific things, and it's so interesting that we all live the same life, you know? Like, some old guy wrote this, and I'm sure it was some old guy. Maybe it was a young guy, I don't know. But, like, thinking about the Disney Corporation is probably some old guy writing this story about father-son relationships, and he remembers his father, you know, probably back in the 50s or whatever, growing up in the country and having to do these, like, fishing and stuff like that. And then this guy back then is probably, like, from the 80s or something. Well, that wouldn't make sense, because the movie's, like, in the 90s. So if they were born in the 80s, they would have been, like, 15 or something when this movie came out. But you know what I'm getting at, like, video games come along, or like skateboarding comes along, and there's something that they want to do, and they want to hang out with their friends, and their dad is kind of like pushing on them to do the stuff that they used to do with their dad. And it's just such a relatable story. Everyone's gone through it, I feel like, if you have that relationship with your dad. And I really enjoyed that part of it. But what brings it down a little bit, the movie down, is that they do linger on the bad stuff, and I guess it's for comedy. But they go to this like possum museum place, and it's a boring, bad place that Goofy wants to go to from his childhood. And it's like, why would you take us to this bad, boring place and make us go through that with Max? And he actively hates the place. I actively hated the place. So why would you take your characters there to that place and then have us just be like, this sucks, you know, for 15 or 10 minutes, at least 15 minutes at the max for this little scene? And I guess it's just to really hammer home the fact that Goofy and his relationship with Max is like getting to a straining point, because that's kind of what happens there. But you could have shown that a little, like, without this weird, boring place. I don't know. I guess it maybe may have been necessary, but I just feel like they later on in the movie they go to places that Max wants to go to, like a theme park, and I think maybe like surfing or something. But I wish we could have had more time with those like fun activities because Goofy gives him the map and he gets to choose where they go for like the second half of the trip. And so he goes to like the theme parks and the fun places. And like, why couldn't we see more of the fun places and Goofy doing like the real Goofy stuff at the fun places instead of Max suffering at the shitty places? You know what I mean? But I guess you really have to give the audience, you have to show them the strain on the relationship before you can give them the real good payoff. And so I guess in that essence, it does work pretty well. But still, that 15 minutes of that possum place, I just absolutely hated it. And that's what sticks out the most to me of like the most worst part of the movie. That's the terrible way to say it, but you get what I'm getting. You get what I'm going for. And another thing that I saw that kind of pushed me to watch this film was there was a tweet that I saw on Twitter about like best voice acting performances, and I don't know the guy who plays Goofy's voice, but there was the clip of him talking in the hot tub to, I want to say Bruno, but it's not Bruno because Bruno is like the evil guy for Popeye. But you know, I'm talking about the big character, the big mean guy that's Goofy's best friend, but it's like he's just bad. He's talking to him about his son, and it's like this great vocal performance. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is really good. So I wanted to check this out. So that also attributed to me wanting to watch this. And it was okay. I thought I would like it more, but I really do like the father-son relationship stuff. And the songs all suck besides the actual Powerline songs. Both of those two, absolute bangers. And I was just ready to get to the end to hear the Powerline song. And that made it all worth it. And we could dance to the song, and we could sing it, and it's fun. So I give this one probably like a 6. Excuse me. 6. Yeah. Goofy. Oof. Choked myself with the air bubble. But let me know what you think about the Goofy movie down below in the comments. Okay? I'll give you 1 second. All right, next one. And also leave me thoughts about if you think that Goofy is like supposed to be black or ethnic of some kind. Like just let me know. Let me know down there. I get the vibes. I get the vibes of that. Like it is. Don't know why. I got to do some Google searching, and see what other people think. Because this is just an opinion I just popped into my head, and I'm sure people's talked about it on like Reddit or somewhere. Like what? I mean, they're their own thing because they're like dogs or something. Like the universe of Mickey Mouse is so weird. So yeah, leave that down there too. Okay, now let's talk about Free Guy. It finally came out on HBO Max, and I think, you know, Disney Plus has it too because it has some like Marvel references and stuff in it, and Star Wars. But it's out now, and we just watched it. Like I just finished watching it, and I wanted to talk about it because I never got to talk about it. A lot of people talked about it, and I think it's a kind of a polarizing movie. Adam from Your Movie Sucks says like he would never watch it or something. And there's this scene that he tweeted out a while back, like a long time ago. Some spoilers, guys, for Free Guy if you haven't seen it. But he tweeted out the scene where Ryan Reynolds fights the buff Ryan Reynolds, and there's like the Captain America shield and Chris Evans, which is great. I love that part. And the lightsaber and that whole kind of fight, and I was like, wow, I did not know this movie was going to be like that. And obviously it is like that. And he was like giving this as an example of why he won't watch it, or why it's why it's complete shit or whatever. But I think it was okay. I had fun with it. The whole like halfway through, I thought to myself, I was like, if I were 12 years old, I would fucking love this movie. It would be like a masterpiece. I would love every second of it. But the problem is, I'm not 12 years old. You know, I can imagine like being a a kid and going to see this and all this video game references and the ninja, and there is some streamers and YouTube people in the movie that I did not know who they were. So that tells you how out of touch I am, because I'm on YouTube a lot and I'm on Twitch, not as much, but still I know a lot of big Twitch streamers. And the fact that there was some people in there that I don't know who they are, that's like wow. These people are in a Hollywood big budget movie with Ryan Reynolds. They have a big audience. People, like, there's kids that know who these people are. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy to me that there's people I don't know in this, like, that are supposed to be big famous people. That shows you how small you are sometimes, of like, wow, millions of people know and love this person and I don't even know who they are, and it's in this big movie. So that was kind of crazy. So let's talk about the performances, I guess. The story is interesting, and it kind of makes no sense. I mean, from start to finish, it does have a good story, and it keeps you going. It pushes you through the movie at a good pace. The pace is good. It always keeps ramping up, but all the technology stuff and the gaming and computer and all that stuff doesn't really make sense. I mean, I'm no programmer by any means, but there's a lot of decisions that characters could make to like stop this from happening earlier, or to just like reset them earlier, or delete certain things. It's like, why can't you just take him out of the game? Or why can't you figure out that this guy is not a playable character? He is an NPC. Like, why can't you see that somewhere in your data? It just makes no sense. So, the whole time, like, not the whole time, but a lot of the time, things were happening. I was like, why? Why are they not doing this? Why are they not doing that? But I guess overall, the logic of the movie, it's fine. And it's fun enough to where you don't really care. Like, you can just be engrossed in it and let the movie kind of go. Ryan Reynolds gives a great performance. He has like a good fish out of water thing going, because he is an NPC and he doesn't know a lot of what they're saying. There's this funny part in the lair of the girl where she talks about like God or the creator, and he's like, God, and God is a troll, or whatever. It's just funny, and Ryan Reynolds sells it so well. He's really good, and he really makes it. It's just fun. It's good. He's really good, and of course you can't hate on Ryan Reynolds. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. And Joe Keary, I didn't remember his name, but he's Steve on Stranger Things. Recognized him right away, but I didn't know his actual actor name. But Joe Keary, he's really good too. I like him a lot, and he kind of plays the same kind of character as a Steve Harrington, but just in, as a programmer. But that works well for him. That's like a good character for him to play. And I really liked him. I mean, he didn't have like the greatest range of performance, because he didn't have a whole lot to do, like emoting wise. But he was funny. He wasn't like distracting or anything. And I don't know. Sorry, I messed up my face so much, but golly, I got a nose itch real bad. But yeah, he was like my second favorite part of the movie. Just seeing him do his thing. Then there is the I don't know, the black actor who played like Buddy. He was really good and really funny. He's like a Kevin Hart character, but like I could see this just could have been perfectly cast as Kevin Hart. But I'm glad they didn't, because I'm tired of seeing Kevin Hart and stuff. And so this guy's really good. I'm sorry I don't know his name, but he's really good. And him and Ryan Reynolds' relationship is really kind of fun, and maybe homoerotic. That's like, I thought they might kiss at the end of the movie, and I was like, do it. It'd be so cool and be funny. There's this part where he's like grabbing the buff one's Ryan Reynolds' boobs, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? He's like actively attracted to to this buff Ryan Reynolds. I expected them to kind of pan down and see him all bricked up down there in his pants. Like, oh, bruh, you know. But and they could have done it. It would have been funny. There's a lot of swearing in it, but there's like one fuck. There's a couple of shits and stuff. So it is PG-13. They got away with like pretty much all their swearing that they could. There's no like blood or anything in the movie, so they got clear on that. There's a lot of guns and stuff, but I could see like a rated R cut of this movie would be fun with all the blood and everything. But I mean, also they want to market this to young kids, obviously, because of the gaming aspect and everything. So, yeah. And it has a 7.2 on IMDb, which is like this director's best rating, which this director has done other things that I like. I looked it up, looked his name up, and I actively saw one and I was like, oh yeah, I really like this. And now I can't remember what it was. So, whatever. Fuck you. Okay, let me think. Is there anything else I wanted to say about it? Taika Waititi was pretty funny. At some points, he was a little bit too much, but there was a lot of points where he said some funny stuff. He had some good lines, and I just like Taika Waititi. He's really good, really funny guy. You know, them New Zealanders. All right, anything else I want to say? The music was a bit distracting sometimes. They play this one Mariah Carey song over and over again, which is kind of a motif that they bring back. And that's fine. Like, I like that song. But there's like a part where they play Wrecking Ball for like half a second, and it's just used as a joke, and I'm like, okay. It's for the kiddies and stuff. So, but there's other times where the music is just a little distracting. I do like the ending song. It's like a remix of a different song. And I don't remember what the song's called, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I like that. They have a really good romantic song, like when there's the romantic moments happening towards the end. The romance song I really like. It's kind of like it's music. Like, you ever see those music videos on YouTube that are like brain waves to hit your brain for sleep? This song is like brain waves to hit you for emotional feelings, because I was getting emotional about like the big romance and everything, but a lot of it had to do just because of the music. I feel like I really liked the music, and I was like, oh, this music's good. And then I was like, oh, and they're gonna kiss, or, you know, and I was like getting kind of emotional, not gonna like tear up or anything, but I was like, oh, I was getting in my feels a bit. And a lot of it had to do because of the music. I feel like it's kind of manipulating my brain into thinking, feel emotions for these characters. And it's kind of strange. Gave me a strange feeling. All right. I think that's it. I don't have much else to say about it. Thought it was a fun time. Interesting concept. Like, this is one of those movies that, you know, like when they say there's no original ideas, which this is a good spin on a, like, this is an original idea, but it's a good spin on one. Like, video game, like an AI, like it's kind of like a Matrix type thing where you're thinking about people inside a simulation and getting out of a simulation and that kind of thing. But it's a really fresh take on what the world could be at some point, like where they have this AI come to life and really challenge us to like what is real. You know what I mean? And so that's interesting there. But it's just played as a comedy, and it works okay. I'm fine with it. I think I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10, maybe even a 7, depending on how I'm feeling. I don't think it's one I'll ever watch again, but like the scenes, I need to clip the whenever he uses the shield and blocks it and it plays the Avengers theme. I fucking loved that. It's just, and you can call me Avengers or Marvel shield, whatever, but I fucking love the Marvel people. And to see Chris Evans just say, like, what did he say? Like, what the shit or something? Like, what the fuck? I don't remember what he said. I don't think he says the F word, but it's really funny to just cut to him like he's watching this. That's funny. Yeah. All right. That's enough goofy smiles from me. Thanks for watching, everybody. I think I'm going to end it here. I have nothing else to say. So please subscribe, like, give me a comment down below, and I'll see you next week, hopefully, with a review of something. I don't know what yet. Maybe you might get another mixed bag of 3 random movies. I mean, how much different can you get from the Goofy movie, Fox and the Hound, and Free Guy? I mean, they're all kind of Disney movies, so this is not a Disney channel, but yeah. So stay tuned. Leave me suggestions for movies to watch that are coming out, and for sure I'll do that if you suggest it, because that shows that you're watching and you care, and that means the world to me. So, all right, everybody, have a great day today, and I'll see ya.